if moving to a 55 plus community turned out to be the best decision you ever made? I mean, really, think about it. Every day you wake up, you get a cup of coffee, and you get to decide what you're going to do today. I don't know. Will I play pickleball? Will I go swim? Will I take an arts and crafts class? Will I just go for a walk? Hey, maybe I'll go meet friends for a second cup of coffee. All of those things can be yours in a 55 plus community. Now, I know this might seem like vacation. It's not. It's everyday life. But something we need to think about is, how do you choose the right community? The right community can be amazing. The wrong community can be a real downer if you think that's going to be at least your long-term home or even forever home, even though I don't like that saying. There is an art to choosing the right 55 plus community. Now, we know that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of 55 plus communities across the United States. I mean, they're building them outside of Cleveland, for crying out loud. That's how popular these places are. Do I want to retire outside of Cleveland? Highly unlikely. Been to Cleveland, don't want to visit there, much less retire there. But if I was from there and had grandkids there, that might be very, very attractive to me. So there are a lot of variables that go into choosing the where, the why, and the when of a 55 plus community. Today, I'm going to help you with some of those things, and I'm going to share some valuable tips that will help you not to get stung. So stick with me all the way to the end for this valuable information. So first, let's talk about what makes 55 plus communities so darn attractive to people these days. Really, there are several factors, I would say, that make the 55 plus lifestyle so attractive, at least attractive to me. The first thing is you've got a built-in lifestyle. Many people, when they are looking at retirement, are a little scared, frankly. A lot of people keep working just as a default because they don't know what they would do all day if they were retired. The 55 plus community is going to give you a built-in lifestyle with people and places and things to do, maybe things you've never even thought of doing. But I think that makes it very attractive. And you guys, you know, I'm your age. I'm looking at all of these same things as far as retirement is concerned. I'm winding down at the end of my career and thinking, oh, this is a little scary. What would I do all day? Well, in a 55 plus community, there's going to be plenty to do. There's also a sense of security. Lots of communities are gated, so you're going to have a feeling at least of security. It's a little more condensed with only our people in there. Our people meaning, I hate to say this, a bunch of old people. Over the age of 55, there are a few younger that do sneak in. I had a call the other day, I'm not going to tell you names, with somebody who, bless her heart, she was a little cougar, and she had a younger husband, only, I think he might have been in his maybe 40s. Good for her. I'd like to crack that code, but I haven't so far. But you've got like-minded, like-aged people, and that is really important. If you've been living in a regular neighborhood for years, the people you started out with are probably not still there if you've lived there any length of time. Those people, when their kids grew up, they moved on. It got replaced with maybe a younger family, which is great. A lot of people like an all ages community. But I think that's only fun on Halloween when you've got trick-or-treaters. And frankly, I enjoy not having to buy trick-or-treat candy anymore. So having people of a similar age is really, really important to many of us. The other thing is a lock and leave lifestyle. I just went away for, gosh, how long was I gone? About 12 days. turned the lock on my door and didn't give it another thought. My community is guard gated and very, very secure. I came home, turned the key, went in, everything's fine. I really kind of forgot about my house while I was on my trip. So for those of you who are traveling in and out a lot, it's a great lifestyle. The next question you have to ask yourself is this lifestyle going to be a good fit for you? Well, it is for me, and I think I'll enjoy living in Pebble Creek or really lots of 55 plus communities across the country. I study them all, and problem is I want a home in every community because there's so many different cool places. But things you do need to ask, are you going to be comfortable living in a community of a narrow age range? That age range is going to be 55 to, 80s. And when you hear the word 80s and you're in your 60s, you think, oh, old people. No, those old people run circles around you and I. You know why? Because they've been here for a while. They have taken good care of themselves. Would you want to be in a community where travel and travel groups is an option? Either solo travel or lots and lots of group travel activities for singles and for couples. And maybe you have a spouse who hates to travel, but you can go with a group of girlfriends on a bus trip to Vegas or, to Palm Springs for the weekend, or, they do Europe trips. Lots of different travel options. Again, everything has been planned out for you. Those things might really be fun. Dare I say fun? For me, I'm excited about that option. I really don't want to be on my own trying to find a group of people. Hey, does anybody want to go on this trip? And then, 4 people book, we get the hotel room, and then one person says, oh, guess what, guys, I can't go. That throws a wrench into your plans. I just want to pay for my ticket and show up and have somebody else haul my luggage. Somebody else make sure I get the tickets for the event. I love to travel, but I don't want to be the organizer anymore. In a 55 plus community, that is going to be a reality for me, and I'm excited about that. Now, what I want to tell you guys is making a move to a 55 plus community is really about gaining a lifestyle, not a limiting one. I do get a lot of comments from people who, hate to say it, but they're just clueless. That's putting it nicely. I'd like to use some other words, but I don't want to get flagged. They are clueless. They'll say things like, oh, I don't want to live with all those old people. They don't even know. They don't know what they don't know. This is not a bunch of old people. This is a bunch of active people living a lifestyle. If you are looking for a lifestyle, maybe you've always been working and you never took time to have any fun. I have had a little fun throughout my career. I'm a big traveler and I like to go and do things. But have I ever taken the time to take an art class? No. Sometimes I peruse the catalogs for the art center. I'm never going to just show up and take that class. There's just no way. While you're working, something else always comes up. But moving into one of these communities at your retirement or close to it is going to give you that built-in lifestyle. And I've got news for you guys. This ain't your grandma's retirement community. When people hear retirement community, they're thinking it's like a nursing home. No, that's 2 steps past where I'm talking about right now. A 55 plus community is for active adults. There are somebody here who are kind of at the tail end of their lifespan in the community, but there are ways for them to stay in the community. And other people, in the case of Pebble Creek, they just move right outside the gate into the Robeson Assisted Living. Perfect solution where they keep their same friend group that they had while they were younger, and then they're all there together with maybe just a little bit more monitoring and some meals and cleaning and that kind of stuff. But that's not what I'm talking about for the purposes of this video. This is a lifestyle for where we're at right now, right here, today. The next consideration is costs. That is something that we all are computing, whether you're looking at a 55 plus community or not. When you start doing your retirement planning, you're taking a hard look at how much money do I need to live every month. Housing is going to be your biggest chunk of your budget, I think, unless maybe you're unhealthy and you have a lot of healthcare expenses. But in a 55 plus community, there are going to be some costs. Most communities, unless you're buying a brand new home, are going to have some kind of a buy-in fee. Florida, they would call it the bond. It can be expensive there, but the houses are less expensive. In Arizona, it's called a capital improvement fee. Now, in Sun City right now, it's about $5,500. Pebble Creek, it's 1 year worth of HOA, which is like $32.68 or something, round numbers near that. 1 year worth of HOA fees. What is that fee for? Well, that's how we keep the monthly HOA dues low. Or in the case of Sun City, they don't have any HOA fees. So if you don't have any HOA fees, that's very attractive for your budget. That initial capital improvement fee that you pay, that goes for things like redoing the pool or, upgrading the roads in Sun City, taking care of the roof on one of the rec centers, those kinds of things that in an outside world community would be added into your HOA. The community will say, okay, you guys, we're going to, have to increase our budget for landscaping. Well, everybody's going to have to pay $50 more a month. Having those capital improvement fees will keep your monthly HOA fees low. Now, speaking of monthly HOA fees, you are going to have them. But when you start factoring in all that includes, it is pretty darn amazing. Here in Pebble Creek right now, it's just under, I think, $270 a month, but that includes all of the common area maintenance. So when you drive through the gates, you have got beautiful green, grassy parkways lined with palm trees. My gosh, every time I'm here, I think I'm on vacation. Then you've got all of the amenities. Arts and crafts, pools, all of those things to do, the fitness center. If you go to a fitness center off-site, it's probably going to be about $200 a month just for that. In the case of a 55 plus community, that's going to be included. So you are getting a lot of activities built in for the money. You are going to pay fees for things like an arts and crafts class, if there are supplies to be bought, or every now and then if they bring in a special instructor, there might be a small class fee if you're learning something a little more specialized. But the Wednesday morning group of ladies who goes and makes greeting cards, I don't think they really have a fee for that. Everybody brings their own stuff and they sit around and they talk while they make greeting cards. So a lot of that you can do for very, very little cost. And that's going to help your overall budget versus being outside of a 55 plus community in retirement. You are going to have to join a gym. You are going to have to pay at the local art center for those classes. Golf generally is not included. People mistakenly think they can move into the community and play golf for free. No, sorry guys, doesn't work that way. But if you're a resident, you can buy like a little punch card, depends on the community what their program will be, but it's always reduced rate. And most of the communities, at least in Arizona, are open to the public. Some people don't like that. Oh, we don't want outsiders using our golf course. Well, yes, you do, because they are going to contribute through their greens fees and their tournaments that they hold. That's going to contribute to the maintenance and upkeep of your golf course, which means no out-of-pocket extra from the residents. So that really is important, and you just need to understand where that money is going. But if you want to join a golf league, there's probably a little fee to be in that league, but it's not huge like it would be if you go to a regular Scottsdale course and want to join a league. It is much more affordable. Everything in a 55 plus community being geared towards retirees, they know, guys, that we're on a fixed income, and they really work hard to make things very nice, but still very affordable. So when you're factoring in those costs, you need to note or make a spreadsheet, make a list of all of your favorite communities and what those fees are. Now, some people will call me and say, I'd like a list of all of the communities and all of the fees. Sorry, but I just don't happen to have that laying around. And you know why? Because that changes all the time. It is a lot of work for me to keep that current. And frankly, I think that should be part of your due diligence and not mine. If you call me and ask me about one or two communities, I can look up some numbers for you. Some I have in my head, but I just don't do the spreadsheet. Really, when people do that, we call it a lead magnet. They just want to collect your email address. That's not how I work. I don't need anybody's email addresses. If you're interested in working with me, I know that you'll reach out to me. But beyond that, I don't do any of those, special Google spreadsheets that I'm going to send you. But I can get you some basics for multiple communities if you'll just give me a call. Next, you need to be thinking about the community culture and the rules. The dreaded rules. Oh, that cough is not that good. Sorry, I had to throw it out. I want you to be thinking about the fact that these communities have to have a structure. That's why they stay so nice. There are rules. There are rules like, and it depends on the community, whether or not you can park in the driveway. A lot of people really bristle at that. Well, I have to be able to park in the driveway. Or what if, my friends come visit? Can't they park on the street? Yes, they can park on the street, but generally by 10 o'clock at night, they want the streets clear. Why is that? Lots of communities, the streets are more narrow, and they don't want older people driving in the dark, banging into cars up and down the road. And frankly, it looks junky. Out in the outside world, I can take you to lots of non-HOA communities where they even if they have an HOA, they're not enforcing the rules. Guess what they have? A bunch of junky cars in the driveway. They've got flamingos on the lawn. They've got all the words, live, love, laugh. You guys know I hate those words. So Pebble Creek, get rid of your words. You can't have them. And I like that rule. It's one of my favorite rules. I think the key, though, is to find a balance of the rules versus just normal living. And most of our communities that I am familiar with here in Arizona, they're not crazy people. It's just rules for good living. It's sad we even need the rules. Most of us live that way anyway. We're not going to leave our trash cans out at the street for 3 days. We aren't going to have a junky car in our driveway. But we do need some good guidelines. Now, what you want to be checking out when you visit a community is what's the culture there? If it is a place where people are reporting everybody for this and that, I don't want to live there any more than you do. That's not been my experience in the two communities here in Arizona where I own homes. They have the rules, but it's all within reason, and I've had nothing but good interactions with the people in both of those communities. And in fact, in my Scottsdale house, I left the garage door open one night and my phone rang. It was my neighbor. Hey, did you know your garage door's open? I thought, oh gosh, how did I miss that? I came in with an armload of groceries and just totally forgot. Well, thank goodness she called me. Is it a rule violation? Yes. Part of that is for security and safety. We don't want to invite trouble, but she was just being a good, friendly neighbor to let me know, hey, you might want to get out of your chair and go check this. Well, thank goodness. So that's a culture of kindness in that community. Other communities might be a little more aloof. I'm not going to name names, but we do have some of those. Depending on price range, some think they're fancier than they are. I've got news for them. There are communities with a much more luxurious price range than they have. But, to hear them talk, they think they're the elites. So each community and each developer has a different vibe as far as their culture. And so that's something you can't always figure out just from, one of my team members just showing you homes. You might have to spend a little time there. That's why we like those guest stays that many developers provide. We like you to go sit around the bar at night and just look at people and think, are these our people? Are they nice? Are they friendly? Are they a bunch of jerks who think they're somebody because they used to be somebody in their whole life? Well, for the most part, nobody cares who you used to be, whether you were somebody in your mind or you were an average Joe. Nobody cares. What they care about is, hey, are you an able-bodied person who wants to sign up for pickleball? We need more people. That's the kind of thing that matters. It's who you are right here today in this community, not who you used to be or who you think you were. Nobody cares about that. And it's not really something that you have to worry about in most of our communities. We go through kind of a little interview process with you on our first call. I always want to know, what do you like to do? What would you like to do at retirement? I try to figure out who people are so we can help guide them to the perfectly matched community. And usually I'm pretty close to where people end up. Every now and then they go the opposite way. And part of that is they see something they didn't know that they were going to find and they get really excited. And we're very happy for them. But it is an art to help you match to the right place as far as the community and the right place as far as the culture. Very, very important. It's more than just 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,800 square feet, and a roof over your head. It is really needing to be tailor-made just for you. The next thing that's super important, should be important to you, is location. First of all, let's drill down to the right state. And I know a lot of you are looking at multiple states. Again, requires multiple visits to figure out what suits you. And some of you have to get on the same page with your partner. One person wants Florida, the other person says, I hate Florida and I'm not going there. It's just a process of elimination, you guys. You're going to have to make some visits to different places and have your list of criteria for every location. Things that I want you to be thinking about as far as location are, how far to the grocery stores? How far to healthcare? How far to the physical therapy? I say that in every video, but you can tell I've been a regular physical therapy patient at certain times in my life. I don't want to be driving an hour away to get to PT 3 times a week. That's going to cut way into my day to go drive 45 minutes there, do my 1 hour PT, then drive 45 minutes back. I've burned 3 hours out of my day. That's just kind of a waste to me. I want a PT place that's really close. Other people, the airport is going to be their big thing. And that's because maybe you're going to have a lot of guests. Maybe you are a traveler having a good airport with a lot of direct flights. I know that makes a decision for a lot of people when they're thinking of Phoenix versus Tucson. If you're a frequent international traveler, Phoenix might be better. But then this is another thing to think about. Where are your family members? If you need 3 different connections to get to them, well, your family members aren't going to move. You're going to have to choose a retirement destination with easier access. I can tell you, when you've got adult kids with little small children, they don't want a 2-day trek every time they come to grandma and grandpa's house. We need to make it as easy as possible. So a lot of people, if their kids are in the Pacific Northwest, Arizona works really well. If their kids are in the Pacific Northwest, Florida probably is going to be quite a haul. They may or may not want to make that trip. So you need to be digging into airline schedules. Go on Google Flights, go on AmericanAirlines.com, check some of your favorite air carriers and see how many flights a day do they have from where you live now to where you want to go. That can be really an important thing. Some people think about it, but I think a lot of people forget to think about it. So location, location, location. That has always been an important thing in real estate, but never as important as it is in your retirement destination. So really, you want to think about buying smart. And buying smart involves doing your due diligence, first of all, as far as communities. Then when you've nailed down the community, do you want a brand new home? Do you want a resale home? Both are good. Both have their place. A lot of it is going to come down to what is your preference. Some people do not want a brand new home with having to deal with landscaping and all of that kind of stuff, putting up window coverings. Other people are excited about a brand new home. They want to watch it be built. They want to choose all of the decorating features. It's a personal preference. It's not that one is better than the other. It's a matter of what fits you, your budget, and your lifestyle. You do want to pick the right floor plan. Sometimes people get real wrapped around certain things that don't really matter as much, and they pick a really awful floor plan, and we're left shaking our heads thinking, oh, they should have listened to us. But sometimes, in spite of all of our counsel that we give, people want what they want. And I'm not paying their payment, so we let them do that, but not without good counsel. And sometimes I'll even write down the day and the time that on this day and this time, I explained that this lot backs up to the highway. Some people think they don't care. Well, you may not care today, but in 10 years, when that highway is 6 lanes on each side, you're going to wish you didn't choose that lot. So if they call me back, I'm going to say, remember when on this date and time? Hasn't happened yet, but I feel like I need to be ready for that because I think it kind of will at some point. But you need to choose wisely. And that's where my team and I come in, having a good 55 plus specialist, not some kid off of Zillow or a kid who copied my videos on YouTube and sells 1 or 2 houses here and there. You want people who are in these communities every single day. I really now serve as a retirement consultant. I can help you with communities around the country. There are a lot of pieces that we have to fit together for you guys when you make this move. Generally, you've got a home to sell, so we have to figure out what that's going to look like. We do have team members around the country that can partner with us in the entire process to make everything flow smoothly for you. Maybe you just need to know what the value is for your home. I can compute that for you. I've got some great software now that will tell us a ballpark idea, at least to give us some numbers to play with. And then you want to come tour the communities with us. Again, don't just show up in town and go direct to the builder. They're going to only tell you from their point of view. They're not going to give you a good comparison of their community versus the others. We can do that. A Zillow agent is just going to open a door. We can easily open all the doors in the world, but we know all of the other insider tips. Oh, speaking of insider tips, remember at the beginning when I promised you that little extra tidbit? Here's your tip for the day. I really believe that if at all possible, if it's available in the community, everybody should do a VIP guest stay in these communities, at least in your top favorite communities. Now, not every community will have a guest stay if it's 100% built out, but Maybe you want to come rent for a month. You can easily do that. We have rentals in Sun City available, Sun City West, Sun City Grand, Pebble Creek. Oh, guess what? We've been sitting in one today. You just don't want to do that in the high season of January through May 1st. Those rentals are all long gone. But you can find things on Airbnb for 30 days at a time. Come embed yourself in the community. See what you really think. That's how you're going to get a feel for what it's like, whether people are nitpickers or not. You really need to spend time in the community. Most of our YouTube viewers that choose to work with us make more than one visit. So don't think you're burdening us if you call me and say, oh, we're 12 months out. Not a big deal at all. You're going to need 2 and sometimes 3 visits to really nail down what you want. We cannot show you 4 communities in one day and still give you the full overview of each community. Yeah, I can show you 3 houses in every community, but if you want to tour the amenity centers, there's more to it than, just blazing through a few homes. You want to see the pool. You want to maybe have lunch in the restaurant. There is a time factor involved. But the best intro to every community, again, where it's available, is going to be those VIP stays. Now, we do have an insider track to how to book those in the communities that offer them. So feel free to reach out to me at the number below on the screen, and we will get you set up on one of those stays on the dates that suit you. Now, if you're thinking of coming in the high season, again, which really starts beginning of October and goes through April, you need to book those early. Also, get on our team calendar early. A lot of people will call us when they're 2 hours away on their drive into town and say, hey, I'm on my way. Can you meet me? No, I can't. As much as I would love to, we are oftentimes fully booked. And so if you want the very best service from my team, you're going to want to call me now for the upcoming season. It is very important, and please give us the luxury of that time so that we can best serve you. We really want to dig in with you guys and give you the very best information so that you can make the optimal choice for your 55 plus community. I'm hoping that we can have a call or a Zoom very soon so that we can begin the process with you.